I'm currently knitting a sleeve on my Ducot sweater, and this pattern is by Kate Davies Designs. It is a delicious top-down raglan cropped sweater, and I normally go for a magic loop when knitting small circumference, like these sleeves are worked from the top down, knitted in a tube. And thanks to a lovely customer that came in, and she said she was using a travelling loop method, I was like, let me go and YouTube this. And after I YouTubed it, I found that there was quite a few videos, but lots of them were not that great, so I thought I'd do my own. So the smallest cable I have in my Likey interchangeable set is 40 centimetres, and this sleeve is slightly smaller than 40 centimetres, which means that that cable and needles wouldn't work. So with the travelling loop method, just get all your stitches on whatever the pattern is saying. I have got my 4mm 5-inch tips on an 60 or an 80 centimetre cord. I think I'm on an 80. So what you want to do is your left hand needle, you want it to be all the way on your stitches so that you can knit, and then with your right hand needle just pull it through so you've got some room to come out and round, and then just hook it into that first stitch. I'm a couple of stitches away from my round marker just so that it doesn't fall off on me all the time. So you can see there that I've got the excess of my cord hanging out, and I have made what is probably a 20 centimetre circumference there. So keeping your yarn on the top side so it's not hooked underneath the needle, underneath the cord and the needle. Keep this first stitch tightish so that you don't get a ladder, and just knit your way around. And just knit your stitches as per your pattern. I've just got all knits this time, and what you'll find is that that junction there where the cable comes out and your needle comes in is just going to slowly work its way anti-clockwise round our loop. So we'll do a few more stitches, and if it gets a bit twisted you can just pivot that either way and it sorts it out. So see, it's getting further away from me there. And this really works for anything. Normally I would set up a magic loop for my sleeves, and that would mean that I would work this one side and then I'd have to reset again. And I'm loving the you get a bit more of a flow on, I feel, with this travelling loop method. Normally I feel like I've got to be in the right mood for magic loop. So you can see there it's getting even further away. Soon it'll be off the end of my needle. This does work really well if you've got short tips. I've got a set of 3.5-inch tips, which I think if once my sleeve gets even smaller, I'm currently not working any decreases, so I'm not having to bother about that. There's where my cord's going in and out over there, so it's just going to work its way all the way around. I think if my sleeve circumference gets any smaller, maybe on my cuff, I might have to use my short tips. I do quite like the long 5-inch tips because you get to hold down here. I find that this part of my hand gets a bit achy using my wee shorties, but that's just a personal preference. So you just keep moving this round, pull some stitches onto your left hand needle and work them over to your right. And if it's getting hard to pull round, just push them off your right needle. See, I'm probably just over halfway there. I have been working on this dukot for quite some time, but it was kind of, I started it in about spring maybe, so it's I'm not too phased about having a slow project. So now I'm cruising along here, just going to push them up onto my right hand needle, knit these ones, and I'll reset again. So I'll knit these while I'm here with you. And I'd love to know whether you love or hate knitting in the round, love or hate magic loop. Have you tried travelling loop before? And this is one of the things I love about Slowcraft and the Slowcraft community, is you learn so much off each other. And there's always another technique either to learn or to perfect. So I've just got a few more stitches here. I'm coming up to my round marker, which is not a necessity at the moment, but it is quite nice to know that you've gone round a whole round. And that's my last stitch. So now I have all my excess over on my left hand needle, and see my sleeve has completely twisted. So when I get right round, I just twist it back the opposite way, and then I reset. So instead of trying to push all that in, I'm going to pull this now right hand needle so that my left is all the way ready to knit with. Keeping my yarn over the back because I'm knitting. You can keep it to the front if you're purling. And get hooked in there, set, ready to go again. And that is the travelling loop.